party, we like to party, party, party all night long. Party, party, we like to party, 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 never go home. Party, party, we like to party, party, party all night long.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to episode 24, the Kobe podcast of Ball Talk Pod. Tonight, we're going to be recapping what truly was a special night at Paycom Center when half the team was sitting out and the Thunder beat the 76ers. And then we're going to give our Final Four predictions for the NCAA basketball tournament. Just got a quick, short little pod for you to get you through the first round of March Madness. But Chris, we just got back from the game. We were there tonight. What were your thoughts, man?
Wee woo, wee woo. Do you hear that siren? Do you hear that siren, Ben?
Loud and clear.
Here comes another investigation from the NBA. The Thunder sit all their players and yet still win. Do you expect another investigation to come our way?
The only investigation the NBA should do is how are the Thunder this much better than the rest of the NBA from top to bottom?
Point. That's a really good point. But, you know, they say the best way to distract somebody from a investigation is to put a Dusel or not Dusel. What am I trying to say? Dangle a carrot, a juicy carrot right in front of their face so they have to bite at it and then they can't.
You just got to Dusel a carrot. That's what we're doing here.
Dusel your carrot.
Dusel. Sounds like the Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated.
Yes, Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated.
For all you Phineas and Ferb fans out there.
I will say it amazes me every night the kind of culture that the Thunder have built, that these guys who could go get a lot more minutes on other teams come play extremely hard. I mean, Jalen Williams again had a triple-double. It's again a program win for Mark Daigneault, and it's so exciting to see as a Thunder fan. It just makes me so excited for the future as well.
It's like Mark called the game against Portland a couple, or I think 2 weeks ago. It was like a program win. And
that's what I just said.
Yeah. Sorry, I was looking at what just happened in the Texas Xavier game. But yeah, great point on that, Chris. That was an excellent point.
Thank you. Thanks for reiterating my point.
Yeah. So yeah, big program win. Just to list off, Shea did not play, Dub did not play, Dort did not play. Hartenstein and Kaysen were ruled out an hour before tip-off. More so, probably just seeing, hey, how are the rest of the guys shooting it? Are we going to beat Philadelphia without him? And then they're like, oh, people are feeling good. We'll sit everyone.
Yeah.
I was shocked Chet played, and yet I wasn't shocked Chet played.
I'm glad Chet played. I like that. I like that he's getting minutes. He needs minutes. He sat out for 3 months.
He played well. I mean, he didn't have a dominant stat line by any means, but no one really had to. It was a dominant team stat line, I guess, is how
That's
Mark
right.
would say it. But Chet comes in, he has 19 and 7, 1 assist, 1 block. He had 2, but they took 1 away. I never get how or why they do that. The big story of the night.
Give him the block. He's at home.
Let's get this guy lined up for DPOY next year. Like, just be like, he gets so many blocks, we have to give it to him next year because he's ineligible right now.
Yeah.
Big story for the second straight game where most of the starters sit. We have a triple-double in Oklahoma City, and it was the other Jalen Williams, who is becoming the Jalen Williams, whenever his number is called. He had 19 points, 17 rebounds, 11 assists for his second career triple-double, first coming 6 games ago against Portland in a similar situation. Is he actually the best thing that could happen to Shea's MVP campaign?
By showing how easy it is for a big guy who has the offense run through him, how easy it is to get a triple-double.
Exactly. Is Jokic actually not that impressive?
Is Jokic he's a system player. He's a system player. I think he is. You put J Will on the Denver Nuggets in that system. He's scoring 35, 20, and 20. You know,
Why are we putting a ceiling on Jalen Williams? Is all I'm saying.
I mean, Jokic, you could put him on the Thunder and he would sit the bench, you know?
He doesn't play good enough defense to play for the Thunder, but that's a very biased take. He is fine. He would play on the Thunder. But all that to say, Jay Will played great. He's 3 of 5 from 3 as well. So his shot was looking good, which is a major key when it comes to the playoffs. I'm sure they'll be limited, the limited minutes that he will get as the third big off the bench. The games that he's played, even the ones that we've had Hartenstein and Chet, the most important minutes and the most effective minutes he plays is if he can at least hit 1-3 and at least stretch the floor. Then people have to respect it. Shea has a little bit more room because he tends to always be the big when Shea is on the court. Because I think they know that with Hartenstein and Chet, there's some playmaking there. Jay Will obviously is not to that level.
I don't know, triple-double.
Maybe we just need to play him without any of the starters, and that's our second unit.
Yeah, it might be true. He is like the bus hub, the bus stop.
Mm-hmm.
But did you notice? I don't know. I don't want to like tarnish his triple-double at all. But I was looking at it because I was like, oh, it'd be funny if he got another triple-double. So I was looking at the video board, and he had like 11 points, 9 rebounds, and like 5 assists is what I thought I saw. But then like at the end of the fourth or at the end of the third, he had like 9 assists. I was like, all of a sudden he had 4 more assists. I didn't know they unlike Chet's block, they gave him some more assists during the game.
I think it was one of those situations. I also was like, oh, he has a double-double. He had like 6 assists.
Yeah.
Like early fourth or something. And all of a sudden you look up and he's at 10. Like I went with my buddy Alex and you turn over and I was like, hey, he had a triple-double. And a minute ago I was saying he's 4 assists away from a triple-double. But I think it more so I just had to do with, like, I don't think it was a cheap triple-double. I don't think they made up those assists. I just think it was just a string of plays where he just so happened to be the last guy to touch the ball before the guy who shot it did.
And sometimes they lag a little bit behind on those like stat counters.
For sure assists. Points, they're pretty good. Rebounds, they're fine. But assists, it's like they'll even take them away sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I just noticed that we had a very similar experience with that.
Yeah, Jay Will played amazing. Wiggs was great.
Points.
26 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. You can tell that whenever he is in the game, almost even whenever the starters are in too, like our regular rotation guys, at this junction in the season, they're like, Wiggs, we want you to be so aggressive. He is never not looking for a shot, and he's very rarely looking to pass out of his drives. He is always looking to create for himself, which obviously, like, you want in this system, the Thunder always say that there needs to be someone who can dribble, pass, and shoot. He can do all of those things, but I think they know they need. I mean, I don't even think they know. We know, the NBA knows. One of the biggest things with this Thunder team, looking back at how they performed last year in the playoffs, was scoring off the bench when Shea was out, or even a second punch to play next to Shea, just so he's not having to get down. I mean, he drives so much. It's like, it's not like he just pulls up for 3 half the time. It's very taxing what he does in a game. And you've seen it, especially, which game was it? It was a game or two ago. It was in Detroit after he scored 48. And like, he was like bent over at half court, like just like there was a timeout left with a few seconds left. And
well, I even think like
he's gassed.
Who was the last team we played?
Milwaukee.
I think at some point, maybe I was listening to something afterwards, and they asked him why he passed out of a shot or something. He was like, "Well, I was just tired." he straight up said he was tired. So he plays really hard, which we all love here in Oklahoma. So,
but yeah, Wiggs played great. Joe shot it well. He was 5 of 9 tonight. That was great to see. 21 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. Dylan Jones, I believe it was his first career start tonight. Had 11, 5, and 5. Doesn't look like out of place. Like, he looks fine. He's not a guy that's going to crack a rotation on this team, but it's a developmental piece that you have on a guaranteed deal for 4 years for cheap. And if he can develop into something great, but they also could shed his salary this summer and not blink an eye.
Right.
But you could tell even Mark in post game was like, no, he's doing what we're asking of him, and then some. So it's good to see. I mean, it's the relationship that this team has with the OKC Blue, and the transparency between the two, and expectations, and how they put people in position to be successful there, to be successful when they come up to the Thunder. He's another one. I mean, Jay Will's one of those guys. There's just a long line of success when it comes to that relationship.
Right.
We had a Flagler 3 tonight. Massive 3.
So that the 3 he made was Jay Will's 10th assist.
How can you not be poetic about
it?
Basketball?
It was poetic. I mean, I shed a tear.
Yeah. Brandon Carlson came in, played great. I mean, they played a bunch of the two-way guys, because obviously with the two-way guys, you're having to track their days with the team. They knew this would be a game that they could get a lot of run. And not only that, as I mentioned, you can kind of see the work and how it translates into an NBA game, because although Philadelphia is in a tanking position, which is detrimental to the Thunder's cause in terms of getting their draft pick, it's still an NBA game and in an NBA arena with, the situation is obviously much different. I mean, Mark was like, it's one thing to go and do it in front of 1,000 people with 900 of those people being kids on a field trip day versus doing it in front of 18,000 and not just Paycom, but any arena. So he used the quote that everyone who came into the game tonight had no agenda. It was like, we're just going to play winning basketball. And like, they asked him post game out of Jay Will's stats, like, were the assists or like 17 rebounds or 11 assists more impactful? And he was like, he didn't say the number, but he was like, each one of them was just as successful as the other, as long as it's impacting winning. We don't care.
Yeah.
But just like, it's crazy. And I was walking back to my car after this. It was like, it's not like these are like the good old days in terms of like, yes, we haven't won a championship yet. You want to hope that we will, but it's so fun to even just go to a Thunder game. Like, they announced everyone was going to be out for the most part yesterday when the injury report updated, and then Kaysen and Hartenstein got updated to out before the game. It did not change me wanting to go to this game because of how fun the second and third unit is.
Right.
And it's just fun to see them get their opportunity. And where Alex's seats are, it's kind of in line with the Thunder bench it's on the baseline, like in the 200 sections. And you have like basically a direct line to the bench. And it's almost more fun to watch them during a game like tonight than it is watching the actual basketball, just because these guys care so much about each other.
Right.
So
100%.
Again, program win, huge program win. With this win, the Thunder lock in the Northwest Division Championship for the 7th time in 15 years, which I think Nick Gallo said it's the second most in the NBA in that span.
Yes.
The Thunder hit their preseason over-under number, 56.5 wins, with their 57th win.
That, Bino.
Yeah, we're rich. That $10 is gonna do a lot for me.
Reinvest back into your betting.
And Mark won his 200th game as a coach tonight.
Very cool.
A lot of milestones in the Paycom. We said it was an historic night.
It was a
special night. But yeah, Thunder win big. Nothing else too crazy. Shout out to Quentin Grimes for being the best player that's ever played.
I'm so glad he's not on the Mavs. One, I'm so glad he's left that trash of a situation. And two, I'm so glad we didn't let him score 30. I was like, I don't really want him to score 30. I know it doesn't really mean much with the guys we have on the court, but 30 points is 30 points, and it was nice not to.
I mean, he had 46 against Houston 2 nights ago, but it was more so a reminder. It was like Dallas was so good before all those trades.
Yes.
He was like their 5th best player, maybe 6th. I mean, he was like, I don't remember if he was even starting. And now he's doing this.
Played much.
He played. He was like a 6th or 7th man. Ryan will text us tomorrow or whenever he listens and let us know when he was still a Mavs fan.
They tossed him aside like day-old cigarettes. I don't know.
He's extension eligible. And what's going to be awesome is hopefully what happens is he balls out the rest of the year. The Sixers slip into a few more wins than they should. Somehow we still get, a 7th or 8th pick from the Sixers. And then he goes and signs somewhere else because he balled out and they can't afford to keep him.
That would be awesome. That'd be really cool.
That's the dream. That's the
Yeah,
dream.
where do you think? Where would you want to see Quentin Grimes? I mean, obviously he's not coming to Oklahoma City, so I don't want him to have like a championship level season every year. I don't want him to go like Golden State, or I don't want to go to Houston. I feel like he would thrive on the Blazers.
Honestly, just go to the East. People need to start going to the East.
Stay on the East.
That is my analysis. I don't care which team. Stay in the East. I wouldn't be shocked if Philadelphia tries to keep him. They should.
Yeah, I mean they'd have a pretty good starting five if Joel stays healthy.
Big F. Big F. But yeah, Thunder win. They play Friday night at the Paycom Center against the Charlotte Hornets. They've been kind of banged up. We'll see. I kind of assume the Thunder will play more of their guys so they don't get investigated again. But I also like the point of we played Sunday in Milwaukee. They obviously sat all these guys. So they're going to get 4 days without playing.
Mm-hmm.
And tomorrow they'll probably practice. Mark said earlier this week we're pretty banged up right now, which I mean it's the middle of March and in the middle of an 82 game season. We've played almost 70 games.
Yep.
So I think tonight was the 69th game.
Hey.
So nice win. Literally nice win.
Nice.
So yeah, hopefully we can get rested up. I don't think anyone's like majorly injured, obviously, outside of I think we're still waiting on Dub, but he was there tonight. He was in good spirits. But yeah, they play the Charlotte Hornets Friday night. Hopefully another situation or another game that looks similar to what we just saw. And then they go out on a little road trip to LA to play the Clippers and Sacramento to play the Kings, which both those games are on national television, whether it be NBA TV or TNT next week. But yeah, home stretch coming up. Chris, you mentioned you had a couple of exercises.
Let's play a game called Have you thought about it this way? So you mentioned that with this win tonight, we have clinched the Northwest Division and won it for our 7th time in so many years. So if the Lakers were to lose tonight, we would clinch the first seed in the West. We would not have to play any guys, and if we lost every game and other team won every game, we would be in the first seed, right?
Yes.
So in the classic debate, rust versus rest, where do you see us if we just decided to eat all the fines, eat all the investigations? We get charged $500,000, whatever it is, for keeping Shea and Dub and everyone healthy into the playoffs in May. Where do you side on this whole? We should rest them for the rest of the 12 games or whatever games, or we should make them play and keep them kind of warm?
You got to play them.
You got to. There's no black. It's all black and white.
There's a rhythm that these guys get into, and I understand. I mean, even so, after the last game of the regular season, the Thunder won't play for a week. And not to say that, I mean, it would probably some of these guys, it would help to have even a couple more days off than that. But in basketball and pretty much any sport, there's a rhythm you get into. There's a routine. I'm not saying they need to play every game, but they need to stay consistent in what they're doing, stay fresh, but still go through their, do what habits they've already created that have generated this level of success.
Yeah, but on a team of this caliber, you can get that during practice. So why can't they practice and develop new things? And if you think about the beginning of the season, they start, they start 7-0, and then they go, they win a bunch of games in the beginning of the season. Why is that not all about rust?
I think it's just different doing it in a game and going through that than practice. In the game, it's all, you don't know what the other team's going to do. You go through the regular routine of what it would be in the playoffs in terms of when you get to the arena, when you go through shoot around, all these guys nap during the day because of their schedules and everything. I wouldn't pull them out of their routines. Sit them every once in a while. Shea will probably sit 2 or 3 more times at least the rest of the year, but you still need to play them.
No, I'm on your side. I'm just I'm trying to play.
You
devil's
told me you were playing
advocate.
devil's advocate.
I'm
You
just
were about to
saying.
get me
I
fired up,
agree with
and
you. I think it's rhythm is really important to the guys, and you hear Mark talk about it when he talks about the opposing players getting into getting into 3-point rhythms, and you scoring a bunch of points on us. He says,
it's in spurts.
It's an NBA guy. If you get him comfortable and you get him in rhythm, he's going to make a lot more points that way than he would if he's not comfortable and not in rhythm. So staying in rhythm is important. I agree with you, and that's why I think we've seen like Chet come back in such a slow manner and kind of seem out of rhythm at some point. So I agree. We need to keep him playing at least once or twice a week. But I do imagine they will sit some as well.
Yeah.
So I have a second thought experiment, or a second. Have you thought about it this way? So KD has gone on record. Kevin Durant has gone on record saying the reason he left the Oklahoma City Thunder is because he wasn't getting any help. He was the one who was having to do all the scoring, and all the playmaking and things like that. Now Russell was a big help, and he was a fantastic two guy. But once you got down past them, the scoring kind of really dropped off. But that's the sort of the way we played back then. We played very much an all-star game where it was 1 and 2, and if those guys weren't hitting, it was a long night. This team plays a much different way where, as we've seen tonight, Jay Will can have a triple-double. Aaron Wiggins had 26 points. Do you think Kevin Durant on this team could go and win a championship? Say we got he is the leader, him and Russ, and we don't have Shea and J-Dub.
You just replace the two stars.
You replace the two stars. Do you think we have the same energy and culture around this building? And do you think we can go win a championship?
Are you replacing them with like 2014 Russ and KD? Or current day KD and Russ?
Let's do prime. Let's do prime.
I mean, yeah. I think you're in the same situation. I mean, those teams they were 1 seeds in the West. They went to a finals. They went to 4 Western Conference finals together on a team that just lacked skillful basketball players outside of Russ and KD. Serge was good. Obviously, James when he was here, but he wasn't here that long. If you put Wiggins and Kaysen on those teams, you might have 2 championships in that time. Like and obviously I don't know how we would have neutralized them because it was a lot of ISO ball. And it was like KD and Russ, I hope you both score 40 tonight, and
but they're on this team, so it's now they're playing
Mark's offense.
It's Mark's offense. Yeah,
you win a championship. Yeah,
but I you might play really good basketball, but I think you're kind of sunk down the road because I think I mean KD's an amazing basketball player. Russell's a really focused player, and they say from everything I've read, he's a great teammate. But I think your culture slips a little bit. I think the love they have for basketball and the love they have for each other is something that really makes them special on the court as well. And I'm not sure that in the thick of it, Russell and KD had that sort of bond.
I don't disagree. I mean, obviously, this was 10 plus years ago, but I think people are really underrating how good specifically KD was in Oklahoma City. And he was doing how we talk about Shea now is how people were talking about Kevin, because he was scoring. He was, he had the scoring title like 21 years old, and Shea's going to get it this year. Not to say that, like we've talked about it, Shea's going to win the MVP, not just because of scoring, but Kevin was a very, very good defender. I mean, he was 6'10". He'll tell you on a basketball court he was 7 foot. When he was talking to ladies, he was 6'9". But he was so good. Like, he was like early in his career, you're like, he's a Hall of Famer, and you knew that earlier than you knew it about Shea. Russ, I think, is the point of, obviously there's a specific type of ball that he played at Oklahoma City, and it was very exciting, but very hero ball. And he was like, It's me, it's my way, or the highway. he took plays off defensively. He came in as a defensive guard, and he almost did like the opposite of Shea, where he leaned on that to start, and then as he got better, his defense waned. And you started seeing that, especially after Katie left, and he was, I mean, context of he was carrying literally the entire load of that offense. I don't know if I think he would have been coached, but like if you think about how he was, I think he's the one that's harder to place in this team than Katie. Katie was he was in talks of LeBron of being the best player in the league. Like if LeBron wasn't in the league, he was the second best player in the league.
I totally get like the basketball stuff would be really good, but I think the culture they've built around Shea and J-Dub is a more lasting culture, and I think it's easier to go into the future with these guys. And I'm not saying that like the basketball stuff, you know, you're right. It probably winning makes everything easier. Winning makes it all okay. So if we win 2 championships with them, does it really matter if it lasts 10 years?
Well, in this situation, though, I kind of assumed that they would have come up in the system with these guys the same way Shea and Dub have.
Yeah, but even if they do, are they like
Shea's personality defines this team. That's
the point I'm making, right?
Yeah. And I don't think Kevin had that personality. I think in terms of impact on the court, absolutely. But you make an excellent point of how well does this team mesh with that kind of superstar? Because I don't think there's a superstar in the NBA right now that can have the impact on this team that Shea does.
And it's like that, their attitude and their love for basketball and their love for each other is part of one of the big reasons I really enjoy watching this team. It's so enticing the way they interact with each other. Just you always want more of that interaction because it seems so fun and so genuine. And I've always loved watching people love doing what they do. If that makes sense, you know, doing something they really love to do. So that's part of the reason that I'm like, I agree the basketball stuff would be really good, right? Kevin Durant, you know, a 7-foot killer who I think Chet has a potential to turn more into that.
He's a more skillful Chet. He's
right.
Way more like that's how good Kevin was and is.
And so it's like, but you know, a part of it is like wanting to watch this team. Would I want to watch this team as much? But you know, that also all could be jaded by the fact that he left in 2016 the way he did. So
for sure.
Those are my thought experiments.
Excellent. Made me think tonight. I almost got a little revved up for a little bit. I think that was your point. I was like, I got to go to bed after this. I can't get too revved up.
My heart's beating real fast.
Well, I think it's time to move over to March Madness, Chris. We've kept the people waiting long enough.
That's right. People want to know, Ben. I've been asked. Who do I have winning? Who do I have winning? I have by the people in my head. They've all asked because they want to know.
They're very curious about your life.
Right. Yeah.
So March Madness kicks off. We're recording this on Wednesday night. March Madness begins in terms of the round of 64. They just wrapped up the first 4 tonight with Texas losing. Shoot. Chris and I are going to we gave you who our Final Four is. We're going to give you our national championship game and who our champion is. And each of us are going to pick a double-digit seed, 11 or higher. 7 and 10 matchups, still too close. But 11 seed or higher that we feel most confident about. We're calling our shot. So, Chris, you want to start with the Final Four results, or do you want to let's do the upset last, do you think?
Yeah, let's do the upset last. So okay. I have, like we talked about last time, I have adjusted my Final Four. After you told me about Iowa State.
You changed your Final Four. I've changed my bracket. I've even changed it since we've started podcasting.
Oh,
but
your Final Four has stayed the same? Okay.
Correct.
Well, after you told me about Iowa State, it kind of threw everything in whack. So I have in my Final Four, I have Ole Miss playing Florida. So 1 versus 6, an SEC matchup.
Rebs. My sister-in-law is going to be super happy with that.
And then I have Duke versus Clemson on the other side of the bracket. And so I have a pretty chalk finals, national championship, Florida versus Duke, who I think are probably the two best teams, two most exciting teams. They both can score, play tough defense. That's what I think it's most important to score in March Madness, because I think defense can kind of
the pressure almost plays defense for you.
Right, 100%. So it's really like teams that can score really well are going to go much farther in March Madness. So I like Duke versus Florida, and then give me the Florida Gators to win the national championship this year. Bring back old Billy Donovan for a parade.
Well, Chris, I'll tell you this right now. Great pick.
Is that what you have?
Pick.
Okay.
I've had Florida winning since me and my good friend Eddie Radosevich watched Florida mollywop Alabama at a St. Patty's Day party together while we were riding Alabama money line, and they lost by 30.
Yep.
So good friend Eddie. I'm sticking with Florida. My Final Four is Michigan State, Florida, Duke, Houston. My thought process is it's going to be wrong. First of all, my thought process and my bracket. Want to get that out there. The NCAA tournament is going to be crazy this year because of the parity across college basketball and just the evil level of talent, or the even level of the evil level of talent.
Ooh,
for sure.
Scary.
But I think the cream rises to the top because I think there are a handful of teams that are far and away better. I like their matchups this year. I have Michigan State, Florida, Duke, Houston. So I have 3 number 1 seeds in the Final Four and
a number 2. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now this is my big money bracket, the only bracket that I have for cash. And I was talking to Alex about it, and this is coming out, and people are going to listen to it after games have started, so I'm not worried about it. The biggest thing in these is not picking a perfect bracket. It's getting more points than everyone else. So the hope is
that's
the
deep.
hope. Hey, ball talk, baby.
We talking ball tonight.
Yeah, we know.
Bring them out because we're talking about them.
But that's my thought process in getting that. I'll probably tinker with some of the upsets. I have a couple that I've locked in, but I have Florida advancing over Michigan State,
Gotcha.
Houston advancing over Duke, with the Florida Gators cutting down the nets. I think it's time. Their team's just good. They're very good.
Yeah,
I love a team that's played well
throughout
obviously
the whole
leading
season.
into it, but especially if they've dominated their competition in the conference tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's when they're playing postseason like games, like tournament like games. I mean, it is a tournament, but
Right.
and they're playing each round better teams,
Mm-hmm.
and that's parallel to what they will see in the next 3 weekends. So your Florida Gators, ball talk. We chomping.
That's right.
We are with the Gators. Shout out to my godfather Curtis, who is a Florida man, and he didn't influence this at all, but here you go.
Shouts out.
Your Florida Gators are going to win the national championship. Ball talk at it first.
That's right.
But there you go. Lastly, before we wrap it up tonight, we got our upset pick.
Yes.
Chris.
Like we talked about, I think offense is really important in the NCAA tournament. I think, like you said, the pressure is going to play a lot of defense. And from what I've read, I think the team that is going to be streakiest and most likely to falter is the Michigan Wolverines. So I think UC San Diego is going to take over
Their first tournament ever.
It's going to be a huge story. The NCAA March Madness loves big stories. Every year there's always a big story. Remember the dunkers from
Florida Gulf Coast.
I think UC San Diego is going to be those. I do have them losing to I have them going and playing Auburn, but I think Michigan loses the first day of the tournament.
You have UC San Diego going to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I have them beating Yale. I also have Texas A&M. Sorry, your mother-in-law. Texas A&M losing the first round as well.
That is okay because I also have Texas A&M losing round one.
Okay, we're pretty like-minded here.
Yeah, I don't. We talk about basketball together a little bit too much. There's not enough diversity on this diversification on this pod. Yeah, I have A&M losing, but another one that I don't know why I'm in it. I love it. I want to ride it till. I mean, I'm not gonna pick them to win the championship or anything, but I got the VCU Rams getting to the Elite Eight,
beating BYU.
That's a lie. Sweet 16. Sweet 16.
You have
They're
VCU
beating BYU, beating the Badgers.
Oh
and then
no.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. See, the only thing I know about VCU is I went to a tournament in Oklahoma City one year, and
you beat them.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking
buddy's year.
Okay. No, I went to a different year, and they hit a half-court shot to win over Texas, maybe?
That was Northern Iowa.
Oh, okay. See, it was Northern Iowa I'm thinking about.
Same day. It was the same day as the VCU game, though.
Okay. Was that... So, which team was Shaka Smart on at that point?
VCU.
He was VCU's coach? Because then he went to Texas for a while, right?
Yeah.
Now he's at Marquette?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just talking Shaka. Talking shock.
Yeah. When he gets out of coaching, he's got a great podcast name.
Yeah, Talking Shock. And just does X and O's. Yeah.
We need to copyright that. But, well, there you have it. March Madness has been decided. Cancel all the games.
Why
Florida's
even roll the ball out there? It's so easy.
Those in our bracket challenge, you'll see how good Ball Talk is with basketball. Subs and listeners are about to skyrocket after these crazy predictions.
That's right.
But
yeah, I need here how about this, Ben? If Michigan loses and VCU wins, so if UC San Diego and VCU both win, all our listeners have to share the podcast with 5 people. And then if they both lose, you delete the app. You're done with Spotify.
Yeah, you have to cancel not just your podcasting subscription, but anywhere you listen to music.
No more music.
Yeah.
And that's how confident we are.
As I sit here and question, like, what?
As I go back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. But share it with as many people as you want.
I'm also, last one, I'm a big High Point guy. Big Cat from Barstool's got me on High Point because their campus is sick.
Yeah, the ice cream truck that you could get anytime in between classes. I'm thinking about going back to school.
That's a high point in life right there.
Yeah,
and on that joke, we're wrapping it up tonight.
We out of here.
Everyone, enjoy your March Madness. I hope that you guys pick the perfect bracket and you can retire off of all your winnings. But good luck, Thunder Up, and we'll talk to you next time. See you.
Thunder Up.
All night long. Party, party, we like to party, party, party all night long. Party, party, we